Okay, here we go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Lingo with the Sooner Works program at the University of Oklahoma. And Sooner Works is a program that's specifically for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That's located on the Norman campus at the University of Oklahoma. So, why these programs are important for students with intellectual disabilities? We're really just starting to see them emerge. But they've had a really big growth, I would say, in the last 10 years. I think there's about 300 programs similar to Sooner Works across the nation. All of them look a little bit different, but what the research is starting to show is that students that are participating in programs like Sooner Works, when they're completing the program, their rate of living on their own increases to 71% as opposed to 36% without doing a program like this. Paid employment jumps from 38% to 78%, and community engagement jumps from 28% to 90%. And it's pretty common across the programs. There's a lot of data being taken and everything after students are finishing programs and following up, we are seeing just huge growth in employment immediately after and staying in competitive employment. So that means they're receiving competitive wages. They're in jobs that they are trained for, they enjoy. It's not just a job that they have to do. They're finding employment that is meaningful and beneficial to them. So at Sooner Works, our purpose is we really want it to lead to meaningful employment and full community integration. We are not a degree-seeking program. Students are actually participating in the program. They have they're going to do not the exact, but a lot of the same stuff a traditional college student does. They don't go to classes, they live in the dorms, they're participating in campus activities, but it is not degree seeking. They are receiving a certificate of integrated employment, and I'll get a little bit more details on that in here in a second, but it is a credential program. So the program consists of college academics, career development, and university life. Those are our big pillars of our programming and how we develop everything. And that also, within that university life, we're looking at social engagement, independent living, a combination of a lot of different skills that it takes to be an adult that is fully integrated in the community and has meaningful employment. So at Sooner Works, all students are expected to participate in university academics. The students will audit 2 to 3 OU courses per semester. And when we're saying audit, it's like pass or fail. They're not getting the traditional A, B, C, D grade, but that allows us to modify the work a little bit more and do it on their standards. Like, let's say we have a class that there's a 3-page paper due. Well, our students might be able to do like a bulleted points paper instead of writing out a full essay. Then students also take 1 to 2 courses specific to Sooner Works, where we're working on those independent living skills, employment skills, person-centered planning. Some of those classes are like personal financial literacy, adult budgeting, your adult rights, self-determination, and self-advocacy. So we're teaching all of those skills that they need once they get out in the real world. They're going to need these skills on jobs. They're going to need these skills to live independently. So we focus on that, but we also have a really big focus on person-centered planning for each of our students. And in person-centered planning, we meet with them individually each week so we can really individualize the program as much as possible. I'd say we have a student that's needing a little bit more support with time management. That's when we'd work on that. Or maybe they do need a little bit more academic support. Or maybe we're working a little bit more on socialization. So that time is really tailored to the individual needs of the student. We're working on campus safety during that time. We're working on cyber safety. We have people from all over the university to come and speak during person-centered planning when we have group meetings. So like last week, we had our campus police officers come talking about safety measures at OU, what to do in an emergency, what to look out for, things like that. So we've really tailored it not only for what the students need overall, but very individualized too. So here are some of the potential classes that students can take at traditional courses at OU, and this is what they would take with all their typical degree-seeking peers. Or leadership, academic success, health and wellness. A lot of our kids like a lot of the health classes. You'll see a lot of the liberal arts classes here, dance classes, communication, public speaking, piano, music classes. And all of our students, we really tailor those classes to what they want. When they first start the program, they all take like the traditional freshman classes that are required for every freshman on campus, which are university college classes. And those are the classes that are just getting the students ready for college experience, understanding the college experience, a lot of tutoring, a lot of campus involvement. They're showing them where everything is, how to use our health facilities, our workout facilities, all of that. And so also at Sooner Works, we work on career development, and that is where we are doing career exploration, practicum. Students are placed in different sites around campus. When you look at the university, I mean, there are so many different places for them to work. So we really take advantage of that, and we try to tailor those practicums as much as possible in the students' interest in areas. So freshmen, the first semester they're on campus, they do not take a practicum. That's just simply because there's a lot of change, a lot of adjustments and things like that, and they're just kind of learning that college experience. So we wait till second semester of their freshman year, and they'll do a 5-hour internship on campus somewhere. And then the sophomores take about 10 hours a semester for internships, and juniors 15 hours. And all of these internships initially are under the understanding that they're unpaid, but we do have some internships that actually are required to pay students due to like NCAA rules, things like that. Or sometimes if a student is a DRS client and they're eligible, they can be paid for their internship hours. And also senior students will participate in a 20-hour a week paid internship. Some of those will be on campus, but our hope is to have as many as possible out in the community area, in the community area surrounding the university. So we do not have any seniors at the moment. We are only in our third year. So right now we have juniors, and next year we will be starting those senior internships. All of these jobs, the exploration kind of depend on the student's needs and interests. So like if we have a student that's never worked, we may put them in a more strategic placement, maybe like in our office or someplace we know that does a lot of on-the-job training, like we're working on that, being on time, communication, all of that. But then we have some students that have already worked and have a lot of experience, so we can get more into their interest areas. Like a young man you see in this picture, he wanted to be a physical trainer, and so we got him in at the health center working. And once he shadowed a physical trainer, he realized that was not what he wanted to do. And so now we are looking at other options, but at least he got to experience that and see it and know that, no, this isn't the job for me. So we also have a big focus on university life. And this is where I was kind of talking about the socialization. All of our students are paired with peer partners on campus, and it's a volunteer group made of just students from every walk of life. So they help with socialization on campus, campus activities. The students will go to eat with them. They'll go to campus events. We have one young lady likes to go to Alta and just walk around and look at Alta. So her peer partners will take her over there. They also pair up for like last week we had a big Halloween party, and so all the students came over and they had a costume contest and all of that. So it's really important to have that engagement with students at OU that are not in the program, because we want to make it as inclusive as possible. And what I think is really cool is when you talk to our students, they never say they're Sooner Works students. They actually say they're OU students first and foremost. And I think that's really a result of how inclusive OU is and how inclusive our peer partners are. All students are also encouraged to join 2 campus organizations and activities. We have students across the campus in so many things. We have students that have joined Greek Life. We have students that are in our presidential leadership class and our student activities council. We have students that are in our e-gaming club. We have one that really likes horticulture, and so she works with that club. And we have one that's wanting to join the beekeeping society, which is really cool. So like I said, they are everywhere and all over campus. And another thing we also do for the students of Sooner Works are we have peer tutors, And usually they're graduate students. Sometimes they're undergraduate students, but they're tutors. And we provide 8 hours a week of tutoring specifically to work on those academic skills and work on what they need to help them get as most out of the content as they can from their academic courses. And so residential life is a big component of Sooner Works. All students are required to live in the dorms, live on campus. Students will initially live in a single dorm with other Sooner Works students as their suite mates. It's like an ADA suite. So each of them have their own bed and then they share a bathroom. And this is just their first semester when they're there. After that, or their first year, I apologize. After that, students are allowed to kind of go in potluck. They can just enter the roommate potluck as like any other student. They can have roommates. They can pick their roommates, or they can choose to live individually. It's up to them. They get the same option as any other student. And then our senior year, we are hoping all students will live in campus apartments. So we can work on that cooking and skills like that go with apartment living, because our dorms are not equipped with individual like kitchenettes and stuff. That is why we're hoping to move to apartments for their senior year. But like I said earlier, we do not have any seniors at the time, but this is our plan for next year. So to be part of Sooner Works, the participant requirements are students need to have a basic functional understanding of literacy, like the writing composition and reading skills. And when I say that, I'm not saying every student has to master reading, but they have to be able to like understand emails, understand directions, things like that. If they have some assistive technology that reads for them and they're able to comprehend it, great. Or it's able to write things for them, awesome. That's fine. But we just want to make sure they do have those basic skills. Basic math, like understanding how to use a calculator. There is some budgeting. I know budgeting is hard for a lot of people to master, me included. But we want them to kind of understand the concept of money, because they do have cards that like their meal cards and all of that. So we want them to have that understanding and know how to be able to work that. We will teach them all of that, but it really helps for them to have that understanding before they start the program. And another key factor is students need to be able to function independently for a sustained period of time. It's not like high school. It's not 8 to 3 and every minute scheduled. Some of our students may have class Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays and only work a few hours Tuesday and Thursday. There's a lot of downtime. Are they using that time to take advantage of socialization? Are they using that time to do their homework? Or are they staying in the room, staying on the computer all the time? That's what we're trying to avoid. We really want students that know how to spend that independent time and can do it. We don't have someone that's with them 24/7. They are in the dorms. They are coming and going. They use their own alarm clocks or phones, I guess, now to wake up. I mean, they're very independent. We do not accept any severe behavior or emotional problems. And it's really because they're so independent. We do not have the staff to be checking constantly, and it is a college campus. And so the university has specific rules on behavior and emotional problems. But we do provide counseling services, the university does, for students that need it. So when I'm talking about emotional problems, there are opportunities for students that do need help, but someone that has significant problems, it probably would not be the right program for them. We need students that can handle and adapt to change. College is really different than high school. There's a lot of differences, and we're finding, almost daily something's changing for them. So they really need to be able to handle that well. We also want to make sure that they're able to be successful in competitive employment situations. That means they're able to work. We want students, that's the whole point of the program. That's what we're preparing them for. So we want to be sure that they are able to hold a job. Necessarily, we don't know what job it is, but they have that potential to have the skills for it. Also, another thing that's really important to us is to have students that want to be in the program. We've had a few kids come in for interviews, and we ask them why they want to be at OU, and they say, because my parents want me here, and they really don't want any part of the program. So it's important that students have that desire. As parents, I understand. I'm a parent too, and I always want the best for my child, but it's hard, and it's not always the easiest, so they really have to want that desire to be at OU and to put the work in to be successful. And we also only take students between the ages of 18 and 26. I'll say our average age on acceptance is about 20 years old. First-time students. So usually they're either doing like a project search, gap year, working something like that. But we will take students between 18 and 26 years old. We take 10 to 12 each semester, and the actual admissions process looks a little bit different for students in SoonerWorks. We have online admissions at our website. If you just put SoonerWorks in your search engine, you will find it, and there's the application there. Our application is now currently open, and it will run till February 1st, I think it is. And so after February 1st, we'll take a look at all those applications, and the students that we feel like might be a good fit, we will call in for in-person interviews. And so then after that interview process is when we will select our 10 to 12 students that we feel are the best fit for OU, and also that we feel we're a great fit for them. We don't want to take any students that we don't feel would be successful, or maybe that our program isn't right for them. Maybe they need a more academic challenging program or something along those lines. So we really try to fit our participants as close as possible. So what I really like this part of our presentation when we're talking about the students. And so our students have reported as being part of SoonerWorks as they've made great friends, and everyone is so nice at OU. SoonerWorks helps me stay focused and figuring out my next steps at college. I get to be an adult and do adult things. And this was my favorite one. It was actually from a young lady that just started in August. So she said, I have the best of both worlds. I get the support I need, and I'm going to college. And she said college with the biggest smile on her face and was so excited. And I think that's the truth. Like, so many times people didn't think college was even an option for students with intellectual disabilities. So, she said, I never thought I'd be here. So she's so excited to be on a college campus and getting to do all the college things. And another one of our students said, I will just say it is a life-changing experience. I asked if she wanted to provide any details, and she said, no, I'm just going to leave it at that because it is a life-changing experience. And these are students that are taking advantage of the program. They're out there, they're socializing, they're meeting friends. And so it's always so neat to see, especially like that first semester growth for freshmen. They start out, and I don't want to say babies, but they really are. You have your young kids coming in, and you think of them as these young babies just starting college. And then that first semester, every parent points out how much maturity, how much responsibility they've gained. And it happens just so quick to see that maturity growth. And so then parents report the following: new level of independence in handling situations the students would have never been able to handle before. That we're teaching them those skills. They know what to do in an emergency in the dorms. They know what to do if their bathroom floods. They know what to do on campus if they're lost. I mean, we are working on those skills. We're working on using your resources. Another parent said they'd never seen their child so happy, and their child feels more typical being part of OU campus. And like I said earlier, all of our students will say they are OU students first and foremost. And then another parent said their child is enjoying campus life beyond what they could have ever imagined, but spending way too much money on Starbucks. And I think that's so typical. I mean, how many college freshmen are spending way too much money on Starbucks? And speaking of typical, I feel like all the issues we face with our students are very typical college freshman issues. Sleeping in, not completing work, not paying attention to time management, maybe having too much fun and not focusing enough on the academics, or maybe on the flip side, staying in their dorm room a little too much and not going out and taking advantage of what the campus has to offer. So that's really, we're tailoring those needs and trying to go in with each student and find what they need, if it's working on socialization or it's working on being not quite so social. So that's really where I find our program excels, is meeting that individual need of each student. So also, our instructors on campus report the students is working super hard and enjoy having them in class. They appear to be increasingly more comfortable each class period. The student participates, makes jokes, and I've seen so much growth in a few months since the class started. The students are truly becoming members of the OU campus. And so it really is, our students are members of OU campus, and our faculty and staff just go above and beyond in meeting our students' needs. And I've had several faculty reach out to me and say, like, if they didn't get a SoonerWorks student that was in their class, they'll say, why don't I have a student this semester? And they'd like us to enroll a student in their class. And I'm like, well, we don't have one this year, or this semester, but I promise we'll put someone in there next semester or whatever. But I think that's a true testament to how great our students are adapting to campus life. And so this is always the discussion, SoonerWorks does cost money. It costs money to go to college. So we do keep the price very comparable for what it costs a typical freshman to go to OU. We try to keep the cost the exact same. So for SoonerWorks resident costs, and that means someone from in-state, it's about $15,000, and that's a traditional cost too per semester. And then for non-residents cost for SoonerWorks, and those are students from out of state, it's about $22,000. But for other out-of-state students that are traditional degree-seeking students, it's $28,000. Oh, I'm sorry, those are just the tuition and fees. When we're looking across the board, that was $15,000 a year for tuition and fees. I apologize. So our total cost for a freshman from OU, a freshman at SoonerWorks, is about $27,000. And so, like I said, that's very typical of what it costs a freshman to go to OU. Our students, they do apply for federal financial aid, the FAFSA, because we are a certified transition program. This includes federal Pell Grants, federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant, and federal work study, but it does not include federal student loans. There are some scholarships specific to disabilities, like Ruby's Rainbow, which is specific to individuals with Down syndrome. The OU College of Ed has offered scholarships. If a student is an Oklahoma Department of Rehabilitation client, they can, if they have the financial need, they can qualify for some scholarships. And like I said earlier, students can also, that are DRS clients, can have their internship hours paid. So they are receiving some money that way. We've also had OU Diversity, Inclusive, and Equality offer scholarships to our students. And then if you look on the internet, there's specific disability scholarships for autism, intellectual disability, developmental disability, etc. We cannot guarantee these, but these are the scholarships that students are eligible to apply for. Again, students are not eligible for federal student loans, Oklahoma Promise, Texas Workforce, or scholarships that are for degree-seeking students. So that's just something the families kind of need to keep in mind and consider when they are working out the funding for the program. So our applications are due February 1st. They were released October 15th. The students will need a most recent IEP uploaded with that application. It's all online. It doesn't take too long to sit down and complete it. There's also letters of recommendation that need to be submitted, and there's a link online to do those. That's just actually, we shouldn't even say letters of recommendations. It's more just a link of recommendations, and we ask the questions, and whoever the students or family asks to complete those, they will just go in and answer the questions, and they're all online. So they'll need 3 of those. We usually ask for a former educator to be one of those. And there's a $25 application fees. The applications will not be reviewed without the application fee. Pardon me. And there is an early admissions consideration. We're doing it for the first time this year. And so if students get a completed application in by December 1st, we will conduct an early interview process and do an early admittance for those that get their application in early, for those that qualify. Interview notifications will come out for the rest of the students by February 11th. And in-person interviews with potential participants and families will be March 7th and 8th, and those will be on campus. All families will be notified one way or the other if they get an interview or not. And then we do a selection of potential participants about March 11th, and an envelope's mailed home. And then once we recommend our students, we say potential participants because then they have to go through the University of Oklahoma for their official acceptance. They don't have to do like an ACT or anything. And usually the university accepts our recommendations, but they have to like go through and do background checks and things like that. And so that is SoonerWorks in a nutshell. My name is Dr. Mindy Lingo, and here's our contact information, SoonerWorks@ou.edu. You can also follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, kind of see what's going on with SoonerWorks. We post a lot of information about the daily happenings of our students and what is going on campus. So I appreciate you listening. And if you want to find out any other information, please contact us. We'd love to have you set up a campus tour and come to our program and learn more about it. Thank you.
Mindy, are there certain days that you do the tours?
Actually, we do not. There are campus tours that are just open community-wide. I mean, for anyone on campus, and we encourage families to do that. And then we will actually have them just come to our offices afterwards because the students are so involved in campus and across campus. We want them to do the traditional OU tour because that gives the best picture of what they can expect on campus.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.